From Isolation Studios, it's Richard Krause.
Is that Alfred Hitchcock behind you wearing a little light-up hat?
It is a bust of Hitch wearing a Sons of the Desert fez. I can, here, wait a minute. There you go. Can you see him better?
Yep, there he is. Oh, that's awesome.
Sons of the Desert is a brilliant Laurel and Hardy move. But the bust of Hitch was given to me by Mr. Hitchcock. But when he gave it to me, it was painted like faux marble.
Right.
And it was a casting of his face. It was in the corner on the floor in his office. And do you remember? He made a movie called The Birds. Yeah. And in Look magazine, which the days of magazines long gone, but he for publicity, they made that bust like a classic head of Nero or something. Right. And then they posed it with the raven sitting on it. And it was for an ad that was in Look magazine for the film. And he kept it. And I don't know how many years it was sitting there, but one day I said to him, when you're done with that, can I have it? And Mr. Hitchcock said, take it. Wow. And yes, sir. I picked it up and I'm out of there. The reason it's now painted that color, like a bronze, is many years later, after Hitch had passed away. I mean, many years later, I get a call from the Universal tour. Could they borrow my bust? Someone had remembered it, and they asked where it was, and they found out that he gave it to me, and I had it. Would I loan it to them? And I don't know. I said, I don't trust you, and finally they said, listen, if you loan it to us, we'll make a casting of it and we'll return it to you absolutely pristine. Because we would like to have a real bronze head of Hitchcock at the studio tour entrance. Alfred Hitchcock was a major stockholder at MCA, and when they started to pour big money in the tour in the 70s, he did commercials. Yeah, some of them are really funny.
Good evening. Welcome to Universal Studios, where you learn Hollywood secrets.
My favorite is the one where he's in the tour tram and the Jaws shark leaps out and he turns to the camera and goes, but they didn't use it, but he did one when he said, Universal Studios, and then he said, because the catch line was watch Hollywood in the act. And Hitch said, watch Hollywood in the act and get in the way. And it turned out it was true, because Lou Wasserman said this is making too much money. So anything shooting on the back lot, you stopped for the tours to go through, those trams. And it was a nightmare. I shot several times. Three Amigos I shot on the back lot in this one little scene, and actually the silent movie part of it. Because on the back lot is this little tiny Mexican village, little church. That's the oldest still standing set in Hollywood. It was built for a Tom Mix silent. So we used it for our silent. But the tram, we had to stop every 15 minutes to let the trams go through. And Steve Martin, Chevy Chase, and Marty Short in their costumes would do little dances and shoot their guns and stuff. And I always thought, they're going to go home and tell people, when you go on the tour, you see big stars and they perform for you. No.
It's amazing.
Anyway, so to finish the story, they didn't return it to me. I mean, I was so angry, and they said, well, it is our property. I said, no, it's not. And I ended up, he was no longer at the company, but I called Lou Wasserman. And I said, Mr. Wasserman, those fuckers took my statue. So I got it back like in 2 days.
Yeah.
But it was all chipped. And this is a long time ago, I was making a television series for HBO. So I brought the bus down there and had my prop guy repaint it. It's been there ever since.